What's up, Chatbot builders? So I've got a good one for you today. So this is a demo of what I'm calling an enterprise grade scheduling tool that can be custom adjusted based on your business needs. So the first thing I'm going to do is run through the demo so you kind of understand the base functionality, and then have a quick discussion about why I think this build is really important and what this possibly opens up. And then finally, I'll provide a quick summary of the tools that I used to build this and how it was kind of built, because there are a few tricks under the hood for sure. So hope you guys enjoy. So let's jump into it here. So on the right-hand side, we have an embedded chat window that takes up about a third of the screen. And the other 2/3 of the web page is just kind of this blank window for the moment. But you'll notice as we open up the chat here, hello, what meetings can I help you book today? I want to check availability, select the type you'd like to check, individual. If I click individual, you'll see select options of your left comes up in the chatbot. And what is happening now is the screen is populating with all of your employees in your company and also their titles. And you'll notice that when I click inside of this window, that I'm getting positive feedback inside of the chatbot of the actual individuals that I have selected here. And of course, if you unclick, then the person gets deleted from this side. In the upper left-hand side, I also have a search window here. So in case this, instead of this list being 23 employees, what if we had 200 or 500? And instead of you scrolling through and clicking every single individual, which it's not the greatest user experience, I can just start typing in here and oh look, your AI consultant, also known as Connor. Hello. Anyways, I click off that, everybody comes back. Let's go ahead and unclick these two and re-click. Let's say that there's a sales meeting coming up and you want to check the availability of everyone inside of sales. So I want to make sure I get the SDRs. Where's my, I got it, it's my AEs, VP of sales, perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and click this button inside the chat window that says complete selection. I've got a selecting times loader. Great, the following times are available for these 5 individuals. And now look, we have 3 suggested times sometime in the future. Okay, this video is being filmed December 11th. So you'll see it started looking tomorrow. Here are open windows that all 5 of these individuals are available. Simple, yet effective. Okay, Friday at 10 works perfect. Let's go ahead and click that. Great. Would you like to book this event directly or ask permissions first? And you can imagine, okay, maybe you're a scheduler or an AE, or excuse me, an EA, executive assistant, that's actually putting meetings on calendars. You might want to use this tool to book direct. Or if you want to have a conversational element to it, you can say, hey, I noticed you have this open window on Friday at 10 for this meeting. Is this still a good time to book? So it gives you both kind of options here, depending on what you do. But what happens if we click book now? Just to confirm, you are about to book Friday, December 13th with these 5 people. Is this correct? Yes. Confirmed. I've sent email confirmations to all parties. Now let's look at some calendars, okay? If we look at SDR, look what just populated, okay? There is our Friday, December 13th at 10 a.m. And look, all of the sales team is in there, which are all these demo emails and demo calendars, which I have scheduled here and put windows in that way to demonstrate real booking availability windows for your various employees. So this tool can be used to quickly retrieve information on, hey, what are some good times for all of these people to meet, instead of this back and forth, email this person. Well, this is a good time for me. Well, this isn't a good time for me. How about this? Like, this tool can reduce the amount of back and forth and reduce some of that friction and increase the chance that you have a successful open time across the board. Now, okay, you'll notice, you remember, there were 2 options here for the type. We also have groups. What if instead of clicking all 5 of these people, I know all of these people are in sales. So why don't I just have a sales group? Hey, look at that. Complete selection. Let's check to see what time all of sales is available. There we go. Look, remember 10 a.m. on the 13th came up? Well, 10 a.m. is no longer open because we just scheduled them a meeting, but 10:30 is open. So you can see that this is updating in real time based on actual calendar availability and showing suggested times that these individuals are available. So you can say, okay, how about 10:30? And instead of actually booking, I'll just request this availability. And one thing I forgot to show you previously, which is, there we go. Look, we've got the actual email that came in as well when we booked on the calendar. So, okay. You can also, what if we want to do everybody? Let's group everybody. How about all 23? We'll just click everybody. We'll have the executives and the product team and marketing and sales. Let's make sure that it works with every single employee. Now, as you can imagine, there shouldn't be a lot of times that get suggested. That's because it's trying to sync 23 individual calendars. That's a tough job. Well, this tool just did it in a few seconds, right? Because the only open available window in the entire week is at 4:30 p.m. on Thursdays, which is why you'll notice the 12th, the 19th, and the 26th are suggested as times because there are no other blocks in the week that all 23 of these individuals are available at once. So, as you can imagine, this tool is pretty powerful. Now, understand one, let's go ahead and reset real quick. One of the questions that you might be asking is, okay, Connor, like, what about groups? What if, do I have to email you every time I want something like this added onto the back end? The answer to that is no, right? We can create our own new groups right inside of the chatbot. So I click create new group. What is the title of this group? Hello, YouTube. Thank you. Now, who are you looking to add to this group? So I'm going to randomly select a few people. We'll throw Jackson and Scarlett, Lucas and Mason, or my YouTube demo group here. Great, a new group has been created. Hello, YouTube. And it's got the titles here. Jackson's the finance manager, Scarlett tech support, Lucas the software engineer, Mason the content writer. I can put whatever we want in this window right here. And if we go back to group management and I want to get the group details, you remember before there were 5 groups. Now there's a 6th, which, hello, YouTube, we just created here live. If I complete the selection, it's going to tell me who is inside of this group. Contains Jackson, Scarlett, Lucas, and Mason just before. And then, of course, as part of group management, you want to modify the existing people inside of groups. You want to delete an existing group. We can go ahead and delete the example that we just made here. I'll take some water one sec. And as you see, hello YouTube group has been successfully deleted. If I get group details, it should go away now. There we go. So you have the ability to create groups based on whatever you want to name them, right? Based on your company, name them by product teams. But the important part here is that we really have the availability to get really granular and start putting pieces together based on what you want to see as a company, right? If you don't want to see 3 times, how about 5 times? Or you want a button that says, hey, how about some more times in here? There's a lot of different things that you can do. You'll also notice, excuse me, I'm starting to get a little bit of a tickle in my throat here. One of the things that is really important is when we checked availability here, you'll notice I put in parentheses vendors and a few different types, right? Because what is powerful about this doesn't have to just be for your own employees, right? If you have vendors that you can use, they can also tie into this system and sync their calendars in so that you can suggest meeting times. And they can have Gmail, they can have Outlook. They don't have to have your domain email address. And this is maybe like a good transition to like how this is built. That's because the backend, it's WordPress, right? We're taking a CMS from WordPress. Instead of content management, it's calendar management. And this is individual to the users. So you own all of the data. Unlike something with Calendly, where it's this black box and you have to click contacts and workflows, and this is the toolbar, and I have to click this booking page, and I have to live inside of this box. And every time I add a new member, my monthly billing goes up for paying per seat and all this. You have this crazy stuff. Instead, we just build you this custom solution, and what populates on the screen, it's up to you, right? And this is why this is powerful. Is you could say this is a micro SaaS or a micro product, but really what it is showcasing the ability to build custom, bespoke, integrated chat solutions that are custom tailored to what you want to see. And that's why I believe this is powerful, right? Because what this solution has proven is our ability to take conversations happening in chat and rendering things happening on the screen, and an interactivity between what is happening on the web page and the chatbot. So to answer the question, what is this built with? How is this built? Let's go ahead and open up two pieces of software here, which the first one, like I mentioned, is WordPress. It's the back end here. And then the second one is, of course, if you haven't guessed it, VoiceFlow. So we've got VoiceFlow chatbot build here. And the main thing that is causing this back and forth are extensions. And if we go to custom forms and extensions here, you'll see that in the docs, there's an example of a form here that's been custom built, which they initialize here with some code, and it's got all the styling. Excuse me. I'm doing the same thing in my build with the multi-select buttons back and forth, and also showcasing the availability. What you have to do when you initialize this in your script, you have to have this extension set here. If I go and I look at my own WordPress build, I go into WP Codebox here, you can see that I have, let's look at extensions. Here you go. Here's my multiple select extension. And then I also have a second one, which is the buttons. Here we go with multiple buttons. And that lines up with what you saw here. Here's the multi-select coming through. And then also if we hit complete selection here, great, following times are available, multi-buttons. So I have two extensions at work here. And what is happening is when we get into the logic point of VoiceFlow, which I get to check about, this is a very basic chatbot build logic-wise, I'm getting to a custom action and I want to stop because I'm waiting for the interactivity on the web page and the user to select the right individuals to check calendar availability in order to move on to the next part of the build. And then based on their selection, I'm going to deconstruct and parse through the payload to get what I want and move on to the next thing. And here's another payload handler. And then I'm got all of this information now. Now I can pass this onto a webhook. And I'm using Make right now for this prototype, but this can be hooked up to whatever email server you want to. Be tied into whatever you want. And then the group management side of things, what I'm doing is I have a bunch of functions to a variety of WordPress API calls. And what that's doing on the back end, let me go back to Codebox here, I have advanced custom fields installed. Here's all of the individuals. And here are the groups, right? So when I'm creating new groups, I'm creating a new custom post type record in here that's got information that's being passed back and forth. And if I click on Amelia here, Here's the calendar ID, which is important for availability because I'm also using something called Fluent Booking in order to use these APIs. But you've got, here's the recruiter, here's the attendee type. So I'm applying types and basically tagging each of these individuals, which I then pull into the chatbot window. So, there are about 100 conversations I could probably spin off of this, but what is important is we've got a new way to see information embedded in a chat when it comes to scheduling and calendars, okay? Where else can you get this? I don't think there is a SaaS product on the market right now that does this, where you can click individuals and do group availability this quick. This is some pretty powerful stuff. And if you're kind of wondering what is the direction that I'm heading, I'm going to start building more and more of these custom embedded chat user experiences. And they don't even have to have AI. Where is the LLM call in this? It doesn't exist, right? And this proves that you can use tools like VoiceFlow to build full-scale applications with embedded chat. But anyways, if you're interested in having something like this built for your company or business, go ahead and send me an email. I'll have a landing page up shortly, and I'm going to kind of build this micro product, excuse me, in public. I'm sure I'll have more deep dives on the technical aspects of this and the extensions and running through this soon, but I wanted to get this out there now that it is up and running and working how I want to. Anyways, love to know your thoughts. Talk soon. Thanks.